It is a gorgeous May 16th day in the Toronto area. Got my good guy once again, Adis Kucukovic, alongside myself, Jay Boyal. You are listening and watching In the Mix. And we're going to get right into a collapse of sorts. But I don't think it was a collapse, just the way everything played out. The Toronto Raptors fell to the Milwaukee Bucks 108-100 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And they were in control for the vast majority of the game.
Whole game, pretty much.
Whole game up until the fourth quarter. And they were up, 7 going into the fourth. Story of our lives. Kawhi goes on the bench. You bring in Norm Powell and Fred VanVleet. What happens?
I don't understand that rotation. Why he always has to go on the bench at the start of the fourth.
Well, here's the thing. Whether it's poor management by Nick Nurse, Kawhi had only rested 3.5 minutes up until that point. Played the whole third quarter. So he's got to rest at some point, unless he's going to play 44. To me, he got his rest and he still flopped in the fourth. But you take him off for the first 2.5 minutes. Kyle Lowry hits Norm Powell under the basket, wide open layup. He misses it. Milwaukee comes down and scores. Fred VanVleet takes a 3. Misses. Milwaukee comes down and scores. Fred VanVleet takes a mid-range 2-pointer from the free throw line. Misses. Milwaukee comes down and scores. Kyle Lowry hits a 3 to stop the bleeding. What happens? Fred goes down, takes another 3, misses. Milwaukee scores again. 1-point game. Bring Kawhi back in. Game's over. Because he had no legs and nobody else had legs, arms, shots, layups, nothing.
Especially that turnover by Danny Green.
Oh,
Near
killer.
the end, that just killed us. Right
With
there.
about 3 minutes left, he dribbles across half court. He gets the pass across half court.
Yeah.
Dribbling on the left side, tries doing too much. Double team comes, tries dribbling through it, and
Gets
falls on the ball.
Stolen.
Falls on the ball, and then he's bitching to the ref for a call. Again, I've told you I hate that.
I hate that
And it's
too.
like, dude, you just fell down. You lost your footing.
You
just
created
deal
a
with it.
turnover.
Just
It's
deal
not-
with it.
It's not the ref's fault.
Get back on defense. Put your head down.
Exactly.
Pull your shorts up. Get your feet set. Instead of bitching to the ref, because he's not the one who told you to give the ball away.
It's
All
true.
right?
Who you putting the blame on, though, for this game?
Well, that's what I was going to get to. Where did it go wrong? You tell me.
Clearly, everyone knows what the turning point was. It obviously all happened in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Because right up until then, we were leading pretty much the whole game. Especially ending the third quarter with a buzzer beater. I thought we had that game. I thought it was done. I went Paul Pierce.
I thought that gave Siakam
I went
some
Paul
confidence.
Pierce. We're sweeping.
Yeah. So
And then
it wasn't just the fourth quarter.
right upside down.
Let's look at the complete second half, all right? So Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard combined to go 12 of 24, 4 of 6 from deep. All right? And 12 of that 24, most of those misses was Kawhi Leonard. Kyle Lowry only missed, I think, 4 shots in the second half. The rest of the team was 1 of 23 for 4 points and was 1 of 14 from behind the 3-point line. You're 1 of 23 in a whole half of basketball. There's no
That's
possible
Raptors.
way you're going to win a game
That's Raptors for you.
when that happens. And the worst part is, to me, you squandered the best playoff game Kyle Lowry's probably played of his career.
It
Yeah.
is. It was a career high.
30 and 8, goes 10 of 15, shoots 66%, goes 7 of 9 from deep, sets his career playoff personal best with 7 3-pointers.
Finally fucking shows up.
Was on fire in
Finally.
the fourth quarter with 3:30 left. We had 15 points in that quarter. Kyle Lowry had all of them. So everybody fell apart. But there's 2 guys to me. Okay, Siakam was bad. Danny Green was bad.
Yes.
Marc Gasol was atrocious. There's no even need to badger him more. But the one thing I will say about him is you're 2 of 11. You can't hit a shot. And then why, with 35 seconds left, down 6, does he decide, I'm going to take a long 2? Like, are you kidding me?
Bro,
Get inside.
He's crumbling under the pressure of people telling him that he's too scared to shoot. So now every time he touches the ball, for some reason he feels, I got to toss this up.
I totally
Which is completely wrong.
I
Do not
totally
do that,
understand
please.
that, but it's self-awareness and it's even coaching. When you know you're 2 of 11, you have to know you're clanking everything, right? Stop shooting that much.
Start contributing somewhere else.
Do what
Exactly.
a center needs to do. Play your position and get inside. Turn your back to somebody, my friend.
Hey, as bad as his shooting was, he still did give us 12 rebounds. So,
And I think, didn't he
Yeah,
have like
play-
8 of them in the first half though? So again, where did he go in the second half?
where did Raptors go in the second half?
So
Really?
now there's one other guy. We were texting last night in prep of the show. I was telling you, I was not happy with Kawhi Leonard in that fourth. You were saying, he still did this, that. I said, I get it. He had 31 and 9, But when you only shoot 38%, you only give me 3 points in the fourth quarter on 3 shots, and you disappear. It was like Thanos appeared in the Milwaukee Bucks arena, snapped his fingers, and everybody besides Kyle Lowry was part of the 50% of the population that was gone. I couldn't find him, and Kawhi Leonard was part of that.
Listen, when a guy carries your team for 2 series, and for 1 game he doesn't carry you guys, you're putting the blame on him?
No, he's part of the issue. I couldn't find him.
That.
You had 22 games of load management. Everybody's saying he looked tired, he was out of gas. You had 22 games to rest up, my friend. Tiredness cannot be an excuse. You've got to give us 44 minutes, 42 minutes. And I think he played just under 44. He played 42 minutes.
Yep.
All right? That's what he's doing last series, too. Marc Gasol played 40. Kyle Lowry played 40. Kyle Lowry's in way worse shape than Kawhi Leonard.
Kyle Lowry didn't show up for 2 series.
Okay, I wouldn't say didn't show up. He also takes charges, plays defense,
He does.
yada, yada, yada. But
Offensively,
if Kawhi Leonard does not
there.
show up in a game, the Raptors will not win. They have no chance to win. So you need him to show up.
But this is where when would you ever, let's say you heard Kyle Lowry had 30 points, Kawhi Leonard had 30 points. The first thought to your head is, oh, we won, definitely.
You would think that.
Exactly.
Especially
the fact that we lost, I feel like we'll start looking at what the hell did everyone else do.
It's not even the fact that, okay, Kyle Lowry had a great night. Kawhi still got his 30.
Yeah.
It's when the Bucks through 3 quarters go 6 of 34 shooting the 3-pointer. Giannis only has 24 points. You limit him. It's how do you squander that opportunity?
Exactly.
On the road in game 1, you're up for 3 quarters. Full control.
Well, I feel like that's the story with Raptors. You do it defensively, but how are you capitalizing on that, you know? If they do create a turnover, are you turning it into a point?
A lot of problems for them. Even the Bucks are shooting 6 of 34 from deep to 3 quarters. But the problem is they would miss those shots, and they were getting out rebounded in their own end atrociously. There was way too many easy offensive rebounds for Brook Lopez, Nikola Mirotic, and Giannis. Just kick them back out, and then you get an easy layup right in front of the hoop. Gasol, Ibaka, Siakam, they have to bear down. You have to get a body on somebody and actually box them out for once. All right.
Yeah.
Siakam played 42 minutes, 6 rebounds. And Serge Ibaka, we've been through this. You're 6'10". 4 rebounds is not good enough.
It's not.
And he played well in Game 7, but then you give me 4 points and 2 of 6
That's
shooting
what I'm saying.
yesterday.
Like, okay, thanks for the games. Thanks for showing up finally for Game 7. Wait, you're going back to your old ways now? You want to go back into the shadows? Like, okay, I thought this was, your coming out party. Game 7, you showed up. Are you going to be playing like the old Ibaka? Like the one that we had when we first picked him up? No. We're going to go straight back to the freaking Ibaka we had for the first 2 series.
To my knowledge, Jeremy Lin is now available. He was injured early on in the playoffs. He's been available for the last few games.
Yeah.
All right. Fred VanVleet is the story of his playoffs. 13 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 of 4.
I don't think we've said one good thing. We've talked about VanVleet maybe a handful of times.
There's nothing good to say about him.
One time we've said a good thing about him.
Down the stretch throughout the season.
So
I can't even fake a good thing about him.
It's mind-boggling as to why he gets so much playing time.
For me, the Philly series was a weird one for him because Embiid was big and he had no success going inside. And usually he's good at penetrating, finishing off the glass, or at least kicking it back out. He got scared and stopped doing that against Embiid and Philly. But why against Milwaukee? Especially when Lopez is out. Mirotic is big, but he's not as big. Giannis isn't in the paint a whole lot. And he refuses again yesterday to even make a dribble penetration. And the one time that he did push the defense off him, he stepped back, tried hitting it 2 from the free throw line, clank. They came back and scored. That was part of the start of the fourth quarter, right? It was an atrocious mess for a lot of them. And that's why I said in the intro. I will only say, it's weird to call it a collapse because Brook Lopez hit some big shots, like Chris Carter was talking earlier this morning with Nick Wright. But still, when Lopez was hitting those shots, it's like Marc Gasol thought he was defending himself. What did I tell you? This guy has to step out of the 3-point line when he's defending Lopez. And he was giving him 7-8 feet of space. He had 23 points, Brook Lopez, coming into the fourth. And then bangs 2 wide open 3-pointers. Are you kidding? He's 23, finishes with 29, and you're giving him that much space? He's just mentally checked out.
Listen, we know Marc Gasol is a terrible perimeter defender.
And you wanted him on Giannis. I'm so happy Siakam was on Giannis. Siakam did a really good job.
He did.
Can you admit that you were very wrong about that?
I was wrong about that. However, for a defensive matchup, I feel like Brook Lopez suddenly turned into just a shooter. is a bad matchup for Marc Gasol because he's
The
terrible
thing
in the
is-
perimeter.
The thing is, though,
He can't defend that three.
Marc Gasol can go out on the perimeter against Brook Lopez. It's not Joel Embiid. It's not young. It's not a quick guy. He's never going to give you a pump fake and go around you or even use a dribble move to get by you.
Yeah.
When he's standing out there, he's shooting
Stand
or he's
up on him,
passing.
yeah.
So get in his face. Get in his grill.
But the thing is, I think he was doing like the same method that they did with Embiid. Almost like let him take the shot, making him want to come in.
Brook Lopez has been the
Brook
best.
Lopez is shooting lights out. Like
Brook Lopez has been the
completely.
best shooting center all year long.
Exactly.
That's awareness.
Still terrible.
That's in the video
fucking
room.
strategy.
That's coaching. That's prep for the series. That's knowing your opponent. I know you had 3 days off between series. How do you not understand that? But it's still funny because Brook Lopez matched in one game against the Raptors his totals against the Celtics in the series in terms of points. So you awoke the sleeping giant because Boston actually understood with Brad Stevens how to play defense on him, and Nick Nurse's Gasol and the rest of the defense looked lost on him. You let a role player come through and choke you out. And
Yeah,
he was the only really star for them
As
for
much as you
Milwaukee
wanna-
yesterday. If Brook Lopez is their best player, you cannot lose to them.
Okay, but as much as you want to say Brad Stevens figured out how to defend them,
No, obviously the Celtics got shambled.
he then still got shut
We
down.
can
in
get
5
into what
games.
Terry Rozier said about Brad Stevens a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll move on from that.
All right.
But furthermore, did you hear what Charles Barkley had to say about the Toronto Raptors?
I did.
Well,
It's been circling around the internet. If you haven't heard,
I'm about
we're
to
gonna
play it
play
for
it
you
for-
right now. I'm gonna try not to get angry while I listen to this.
so let them.
Toronto ball Kawhi Leonard in. For this what you bring a superstar in for a game 7.
And and there's a big picture scenario on this too for
Well, I
Kawhi
told you,
Leonard and for the Raptors.
listen, I hope Toronto's my favorite city. I hope he stays there. But I think this is more because if Kawhi Leonard leaves there, I think it'll be the end of basketball in Toronto. Personally, this is what Toronto ball Kawhi Leonard in.
See, I stutter. He
Do-
doesn't believe it.
Do you want me to start or you?
Well, I don't know your position on this, so
So
I'll let you start because
let
you
me go
know my
first.
position on this.
Charles Barkley has a lot of dumb hot takes, has a lot of crazy things that he says. You can say whether it's for clout, whether it's
Yep.
for TV ratings, all this.
Yep.
This is a man speaking the truth. Explain to me. Oh, let me explain to you why this is.
I want to know
the
why.
most
Yeah,
true
why I
thing.
want to know from these jerseys up here. I want to know why you believe that what he said is true.
Multiple reasons. All
Let's hear
right,
it.
let's start off. What has been the main problem for the Toronto Raptors? Inability to sign any free agents. Look at
Okay.
every team that wins the NBA championship in the last 10 years. Besides Golden State's first championship,
Yep.
everybody has brought in their top 2 players have been a free agent you've acquired. The only way they can get players is either building through the draft, they've had a little bit of success, or trades. So you go and trade for Kawhi Leonard. And otherwise, look at Masai
A
Ujiri.
superstar.
Hold on. Otherwise, look at your signings in the Masai Ujiri era.
Yep.
Damari Carroll, 15 million, 5 years, whack, get him out of there. CJ Miles, 3 years, 15 million, whack, get him out of there. Norm Powell extending him. Like, nobody's coming here, right? What, can you name me a significant free agent that's come here in your lifetime? No, it doesn't happen. What happens is you draft players.
You
the
can't
odd
name
time,
any though because you don't know.
No, there's no free agents that have ever come here
Hmm?
that have been,
Okay,
been good
but
players.
you don't know
So
if they're-
hold on, let me
could
finish my
come.
thought, buddy.
Okay, keep
All
going.
right, and then when you do finally draft and develop a good player, how long before they leave? Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Chris Bosh. I even hate those guys for
the
leaving.
Past,
Okay,
bro.
just take
Okay,
it
keep
easy.
going.
All right, then you finally have DeMar DeRozan. You trade him for Kawhi Leonard, and you hope this guy stays.
Mm.
You sacrifice everything. You rip away your pride. You cater to this guy's every need to
Yep.
make it the best possible situation you can. You've made the conference finals, so you're a top 4 team in the NBA, and you finally have a top 5 player, which the Raptors have never had in their history. And if this guy leaves, what is that going to say to every other free agent that's never wanted to come here that now maybe starts thinking about it? It's if Kawhi didn't stay and he had a full year to see what it's like, why the hell would I go there?
Yeah, but it could also be looked at what were his thoughts into going here before he actually came
If-
to Toronto.
If you give them
If he wanted to be in
everything,
LA before, being in Toronto for a year doesn't.
Paul George wanted to be in LA before and stayed in Oklahoma City, a way crappier city, a crappier team, crappier management.
Credited a lot to the
crappier
friendship that he built
environment.
with Westbrook.
So Kawhi Leonard seems to be best friends with Danny Green, is going to close relationship with Masai Ujiri and Kyle Lowry. His uncle was seen hugging Masai Ujiri after the Game 7 shot. And then he hits that Game 7 buzzer beater.
Yep.
He is enriched in Toronto Raptors lore. And then he goes and leaves. If that happens, we're done. First of all, forget no free agents coming here. All right? It becomes, you have old Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam. Do you think you can build around those guys? Masai Ujiri's potentially. All right? The problem is, it's going to be hard to bring another free agent next year at the top dollars because you have Marc Gasol at $25 million next year.
Yeah.
So you can't move him because nobody's taking his contract. So is MLSE going to be willing to go into the luxury tax next year when they've never been willing to before? And the Kawhi Leonard deal, they made San Antonio give them $1 million cash to pay off the luxury tax. That's the only way you're going to bring in somebody else that isn't Kawhi Leonard next year. Okay. So is that going to happen? Probably not. So they're going to end up trading Kyle Lowry and they're going to start a full rebuild. And same thing, you're trying to develop
Is that the end of basketball rebuild?
You have to try and develop the draft. And like I said, in the last 10 years, what NBA team has won without a significant free agent joining their team?
Okay.
Can you name me one? No, and nobody will. If this guy leaves, nobody's ever even going to consider coming to Toronto as a free agent.
Okay, please tell me that all you're talking about here is signing a fucking superstar.
That's how you win in the NBA.
Where the hell was Toronto before Kawhi Leonard came in?
Yeah, we're good, but we weren't a championship threat. You know that.
Where were we in the East?
In the regular season, great, 1 or 2 in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Out.
Okay, but who did we eliminate? Milwaukee last year. We
Not
lost
last year.
2
years ago.
In 6 games, no?
Nope.
First round. Who did we play first round last year?
That's
Milwaukee.
tough memory.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Was it
I'm
not
telling you.
Indiana?
No, that was with Paul George.
I don't think we played Milwaukee last year, but anyways, go on.
Regardless, what I'm going with is, and that team that we had, which was a good team, our curse was LeBron James, which is, again, not with us in the East anymore. That was a great team. All those players none of those guys we traded for someone. All those players we built up slowly. Valanciunas. Sadly, we gave those guys.
You brought in Ibaka. You brought in CJ Miles. Some other smaller guys.
We got rid of CJ Miles quick. DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, all those guys, it gradually got better.
Okay, so now
not even that. How big of a market Toronto is, you can see in these games the emotion that these fans have with these players.
The fans are down in these playoffs, but
you're telling me that's not going to be an attraction for even some
players? You think we're the only city
through?
with good fans?
We don't have good fans. We have great fans.
Our fans are better in the regular season than the playoffs because the tickets get too expensive in the playoffs. It's the blue and white syndrome.
When you're playing for the Raptors, you're not playing for Toronto. You're playing for
exactly.
Canada.
So
for Canada.
If Kawhi Leonard, who experienced all this, chooses to leave and says, I can't stay here, what message does that send to every other player in the National Basketball Association?
Oh, maybe I can go there and make it if unless you want to be in LA, we're like if he really wants to be in LA and go play in LA, then okay. And everyone's gonna be like, oh, I knew it.
He would rather just go live close to home and play for a crappy organization, LA Clippers, by himself.
LeBron James did.
Well, LeBron James hoping people come to play with him, and he has other things he wants to movie companies.
He's missed out on a playoff.
His family's given an ultimatum: was Cleveland or LA, and he wasn't staying in Cleveland. So unless he wanted his wife and kids to freaking leave him,
his hometown.
Who fired his GM, and Kyrie had left, and they were in shambles. There's no way he was gonna stay there.
Okay,
but
not everyone can go to Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a huge market. Clearly. We know that. New York too, huge market. I guess no one's going. I don't know who's gonna go there in the free agency. What other markets are huge out there? Boston.
Right. So, let me say this.
Name me some others, please.
New York, Boston, Chicago, Miami.
You're not gonna have Toronto in there with them?
No, I am. But what do you want me to get?
So
to
then
here?
There you go. They're one of the bigger markets, and that's
bigger markets, but not in terms of NBA. The way the appeal is to the players. Toronto's never been appealing to players to come here.
When he says end of basketball,
like he means in terms of being competitive.
But you know how okay,
we might make the playoffs.
He's talking about end of basketball, bro. He's not saying they're gonna have to do a rebuild.
Who cares? Who cares if you're a 7th, 8th seed or missing the playoffs every year type of team? You are not irrelevant. If
we haven't even before Kawhi Leonard, we haven't missed the playoffs in how many years?
5. Okay,
exactly.
But before that, it's gonna go back to that if Kawhi leaves. Mark my words.
No,
and it will not. Okay, it will not be the end.
We got key players to build on. Siakam,
one key player, and what has he done in the playoffs now? He's looked small and scared and disappeared.
Hey, in the 2 series that guys like Kyle Lowry and all these other guys decided not to show up, he at least did.
No, Siakam was sucked in game 6 and 7 against Philly.
Okay.
Calf contusion or not.
Game 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5. And then the whole series with Orlando.
And no, he was not that great in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He was still giving you 20 points
game
almost
one,
every
he was
game.
Sick, and then as soon as they put him beat
He
on
was
him,
averaging
game 2,
like 23 point something points.
okay, so you have one player.
While every other player is averaging close to 10.
You have one player who can average 20 points,
10.
and they're gonna trade Kyle Lowry. What is that? What I want to get at, but you
And
keep
Kyle Lowry's a
interrupting
good
me.
trading piece.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. What did Bledsoe say about him?
Oh my god, that was so stupid.
Well, stupid. It got him freaking dropped 30 points right after he said that.
All right, what I wanted to get at, I've been trying to get at for 10 minutes, and you never stop interrupting, is it may not be the end forever, but it will be the end for the next 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years.
A minimum
Are
5
you
to 8. They're going to have to do a
whack,
full
bro?
teardown and rebuild if Kawhi Leonard leaves.
Who's taking our position in the East? Who's going to...
Milwaukee Bucks. Philadelphia 76ers.
No, but that's going to keep us out of a playoff picture?
We'll be in the playoff picture, but who cares if you're making the playoffs losing in the first round with a young team? You want to go back to that? 5 years you've watched the minimum semifinals or conference finals, and now you're going to be fine with mediocre first round exits? To me, that's end of basketball. End of being relevant and competitive for a championship.
When I hear end of basketball, I'm hearing
No, you're taking away out of context, man.
No.
He's not saying like, oh, the team's going to fold.
No, but he's saying that the attention in Toronto is going to go away from basketball. That's not happening. You know how many fucking fans there are for basketball in Toronto?
Okay, but before DeMar
Toronto's a
DeRozan and
huge
Lowry
market for
started making the
basketball.
playoffs, was it this much affair? No. It seemed like the Blue Jays, when 2015-16 started making the playoffs, oh my god, that dome was sold out every day. Nobody could stop watching the Jays.
Our dark
and then
days
as soon
were
as
with the European players. Bargnani and those guys.
As soon as the Jays started playing bad, they can't even get 12, 15,000 people in their 50,000 arena now. The same thing will happen with the Raptors if they start missing the playoffs or just being a 7th or 8th seed.
Well, how much better do you think Siakam's getting next year? From this year, after
a little
playing
better. I don't think
a little
he's not
better
gonna
after
have
playing a conference finals,
dude.
in his breakout season.
He's not gonna jump from he had 7 points last year to averaging 16 this year and to 20 most games. So he's not gonna average 30 next year. Are you stupid?
Who the fuck's averaging? Who's talking about averaging 30? I'm talking about averaging in the 20s. That's amazing. What do you?
Okay, so that's a minimal jump from 17 to 20. That's a crazy jump for you. What's so crazy about
That's a great improvement, and he knows how to play in the playoffs. What are you talking about?
Well, we'll see if he knows how to
play.
We'll see if he knows how to play in the playoffs in the next few games, buddy. The first round against Orlando is very easy. You
Okay.
would have averaged 10 points against Orlando.
That's rude.
The
We
Orlando
lost
Magic
the first
suck.
game, so
They suck.
as
The
much as
Orlando
they
Magic.
suck, they took us one game
When we were sleeping.
when we were sleeping. There's
Sleeping.
always an excuse when there's a loss for you. Golden State
No,
loses
against
Clippers,
Orlando.
they don't care.
Yeah.
Raptors lose to Orlando, they don't care.
When a great team
When
loses
you're-
to a shitty team,
when
it's
you get
usually because
paid,
they don't
when you
care.
get paid millions to play fucking basketball and that's your job, you better fucking care for every
You
game
think
that you
all these
play.
guys care? You think people don't check out?
I'm telling you,
Are
the
you
champs do. They do. They care about every single game.
Okay,
And maybe
the-
that's a mindset. And if Toronto has that mindset, then fuck, maybe we won't get
The Raptors
anywhere.
obviously don't have that mindset.
But
You
I'm
just-
praying. I'm hoping that
How are they
most
so up and
basketball
down
players
against
would
Philly if
have
they
that.
had that mindset? How do the Raptors championship
Again,
team if you had that mindset?
No, we talked about this earlier. Give fucking Philly some credit, bro. You're acting
a
like
little
they're a
bit.
trash team.
No,
and
I
we
never
just
said they're a
fucking-
trash team.
No,
I
but
picked them to
people
go
act
7.
like
You thought
that.
we were going to beat them in 5. You thought they were trash.
Huh?
You thought they were
Well,
trash.
I thought fucking the momentum from the first series would just carry on over. But I'm saying, people, as soon as we went 7 games with Philly, people are writing us off. Oh, Milwaukee's going to the finals, 100%. What do you,
I didn't hear.
act like
I didn't hear
Philly-
that many people writing us off. American
Are you
guys,
kidding
yeah.
me?
Well,
First take, all
Milwaukee's
these
a
guys
better
talking
team.
about
Milwaukee
playing G State in the finals.
Milwaukee's been
That's
a
all I'm
better
hearing.
team than Toronto and the rest of the league from game 1 to 82 and to the
Well,
playoffs.
I feel like they had an easier second round than Raptors did. Boston's
sure.
a worse team than
But-
Philly.
I'm saying from game 1 to where they are now, they've been the best team in the NBA. They lost one game against Boston and then ripped these guys' heads off.
Hey,
Heads off. Ripped Paul Pierce's head off too.
yeah,
Fuck, I hate that guy.
fucking loser. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right,
Regardless,
let's
I'm
agree
in
to
complete-
disagree.
I'm in complete
I think
disagreement
you're not
with this.
understanding the picture that Barkley was trying to paint and that I'm trying to paint.
I feel like Barkley
Not
just,
saying like we're gonna fall off the face of the
as
earth.
much as he wants to
but
talk about being a
Raptors-
fan of Toronto, how much he loves the city, he ain't in the city. He doesn't feel
What do you
the
say?
energy we have for
Raptors basketball
basketball.
as you know
You
it.
don't have the look at the
Raptors
talent we've
bas-
built. Jamal Murray's from Toronto. Well, you think players
Okay,
like
that's
that,
not Raptors though. That's Canadian
yeah, but you
basketball.
think guys like that won't ever want to be like, oh, I want to play for my fucking
No
home
shit, but how
city.
long till they get here? They will never be
You
able to
never
come in
know.
until set.
We could have
8
another
years.
fucking Jamal Murray in 2 years. What are you talking about?
And what are the odds the Raptors get to draft him?
Well, if you
Look at
drop
what we
like
said.
you say
Look at what we said about Andrew Wiggins. All right, the plan was a Masai Ujiri knew it too. He's gonna play his 3-year entry level contract in Minnesota. Then he's gonna sign a 5-year deal as everybody else does, and you get him after year 8. We're still waiting. What are
Who
we at?
knows?
Year 5? Jamal Murray's only at year 2.
Okay. And everyone's
so
acting
another
like they
6
know
years
exactly
you
what
gotta
they're
wait
gonna
for
do
this guy to possibly come play for Toronto. And the last one we had Corey Joseph. Man, he was a decent bench player. I loved him. He was a grind guy.
Yeah.
Ship him out quick. Wasn't what you needed. Who's coming? Who's gonna save the Raptors as a Canadian player?
Don't know.
Maybe Jamal
You
Murray.
don't know the
in
mindset
5
of any of
years.
these players. Any of the guys in the free agents. You don't
I
know what
do.
they're thinking.
I do. I know at least that they're thinking.
Unless
I know that they're thinking. I
Unless
don't
you're
want to.
friends with them and talking to them. I'm telling you right now, none of these reporters, no one knows.
I can know for
They
a fact.
do not know.
They are not. They are thinking. I don't want to go play in Toronto where I have to go move to a different country, relocate my family to a different country, and make way less money as well because of our tax
Way
rate.
less.
Ontario has the highest income tax rate in North America.
How much would if Kawhi got the max here? How much would he be making? I think it was 58 million, right?
In a year? No.
No, not in a year. The contract would
It'd be close to 40.
Yeah.
It'd be like 38, 37. LeBron's max contract last year was 35.
He would get more
per year.
here than he would get in other cities, no?
Well, no, that's just because we have his rights because he's played here 1 year
Exactly.
longer.
So
But obviously, that doesn't matter for him because then he would have stayed in San Antonio because he would have made even more money than the Raptors could give him if he stayed in San Antonio.
Okay.
So money's not relevant to Kawhi Leonard.
Okay. Regardless, I hate that the narrative is always Kawhi's leaving. Why? Wait,
It's not that he's leaving.
why
We're
is
just saying
that the
if he
discussion
leaves,
we gotta have
if
every
he leaves,
fucking
the Raptors
game?
are fucked.
After
And I've been
every game of the postseason, we talk about is Kawhi leaving.
We have not.
No, but but
You're
I'm
getting
saying,
pissed
like,
off
that's
media.
the narrative.
These guys are on TV every day. You run out of shit to talk about. What do you want them to talk about?
It it cheeses me. I'm telling you, to my soul, that every loss leads to is Kawhi gonna leave,
Well, stop watching idiots on TV then, would ya?
like this guy.
And I'm just gonna say, as soon as that trade went down, I threw that DeRozan jersey on the wall. I said, great trade for now. If Kawhi leaves,
Love him.
nope. If Kawhi leaves,
No, I'm
it's,
saying
it's the
DeRozan,
worst
love him.
trade in the history of Raptors organization. Worse even the Vince Carter trade. I'll tell you that much. And we'll revisit that July 1, because I think June 30th, the NBA has
First.
changed how they're doing free agency. So June 30th at 6 p.m. the
They
moratorium
they
opens.
moved it.
So it's going to be different this year. I think he's not going to sign the first couple days, though. July 5th to 10th, I'm thinking. So we'll be here, and I'll be laughing at you, I think.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Do you want
I
to
beg
move to the
to
next
differ.
topic? I drink some water. You got
'Kay,
me.
there's-
My throat tired.
there's another game 1 going on in
After
NBA
let's preview.
postseason.
Game 3's going down tonight. Game 2's going down tonight.
Yeah. Which was the Portland Trailblazers versus Golden State Farts.
I'm gonna start with this. You watched that game. We were talking.
Yeah.
Do you still think whether Katie's there or not that this team's not gonna win the championship and that Toronto can beat them? I can't even ask that with a straight face.
Huh?
You still think they're not the favorite?
What?
Golden State.
Oh, 100%. Bro, okay. I'm gonna expose this. I have low-key a side bet going on for $100.
With
Like
who?
Golden State's with 2 other people. Like Golden State's winning the championship. I set this before the season started. And we're here now.
So forget about that bet.
Yep.
Last episode you were acting a fool, making a
I'm not acting a fool. I was acting a fan.
Buddy, let me pull up my text. People
I
are
have a
laughing
fucking-
at you.
Where are you from?
Mississauga, Ontario.
Yeah, stay there, bro. Don't come to Toronto.
You're from Mississauga, Ontario too, buddy.
Huh?
You live.
I'm on the border.
I'm 2 minutes from you, not even.
Huh?
Bored of my ass.
Yeah, but you know what?
All right.
Emotionally,
let's just-
spiritually, I'm a Toronto man.
All right.
You,
Okay.
my friend,
Okay,
I don't
there.
even know, bro. You're from fucking San Francisco.
Be a great place to live. Anyways, Golden State Warriors showed the F up in game 1. Especially a gentleman by the name of Stephen Curry. Drops 36 points on 12 of 23 shooting. Goes 9 of 15 from deep. You get Klay Thompson chipping in at 26, was on fire the first half. He was only 3 for 9 of deep, 10 of 24. And then you have Draymond Green chipping in 12, and that's all fine. But where did Portland's big boys go? Damian Lillard coming into the series the day of Game 1, the day before, said, we match up better with Golden State than we do with Denver. And I'm excited. I like our odds better. It's going to be easier.
What do you want
this
the guy
guy was
say?
dreaming.
What do you want the guy to say?
Say they're a great team. They're sick. We have to battle our ass up. Don't say we match up with them good. How do you match up with this team well?
They're so good.
They're the best team in the history of the NBA.
Like, why? You're not. That's not your mindset coming into the series.
Okay, well,
Jay.
so
it's an athlete's mindset. This is not a fucking.
Oh, like you're
fan.
an athlete.
No, but I'm saying, in their mind, Golden State. If he thinks
you don't talk stupid like that, because you know what happens. You go out there and you make a fool of yourself, and you drop 19 points and only 4 of 12 shooting, and you're lucky you got to the free throw line 9 times, because otherwise you would have had 11 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Damian Lillard disappeared. CJ McCollum, who was huge in Game 7, lost again. 17 points.
Hey.
7 of 19.
It's a 7.
And their bench showed up. Mo Harkless, 17 points. Ennis Cantor, 10 points. Rodney Hood, 17 points.
Yep. That's a good sign, though. Hey, if the other players are going to show up, literally all you need right now is for the Stars too, and you have a win right there.
Not so much. Because, you know, when that game was lost, it's very similar to how the Raptors, when Kawhi Leonard goes out, it's at the start of the fourth, it's, hey, Steph Curry's going out, so you got to try and take advantage, right? So, what happened instead? Klay was on with their bench. So, it was Quinn Cook, Sean Livingston, Klay Thompson, and Bell and Jerebko. Yeah. And they had a 6-point lead. And in the next minute and a half, pushed it to an 11-point lead for Golden State. Done. Game over. Minute and a half into the fourth. 11 points. You're not coming back. Steph Curry comes back into the game. Yeah. He dropped another 12 in the fourth. Over. You let the Golden State bench end the game against you. That's atrocious. You pulled the Toronto Raptors, is what I'm getting at here.
But do you see, I don't understand with some of these teams, their mindset coming into playing Golden State. Thinking they can outshoot them, they can outscore them. That's not the way to beat them.
Well, it's when you're
LeBron James not lay you guys a fucking blueprint.
Yeah, like, you gotta,
you
gotta go inside.
You gotta go inside, shoot, play great defense, and fucking
and try and force them into a 2-point
make it a rough
team.
game. Yeah, exactly.
Look at what Houston did. They turned Golden State into a 2-point team instead of a 3-point team, and they had some success. At least won 6 games. Yep. And the problem with today's NBA, with how many threes are shot, the pace of play, and all that stuff. When you go down 10 points, they try and get it back so quick. There could be 14 minutes left, 20 minutes left. Let me just check up 3 threes. We hit them all 9 points, 1-point game. Well, if you just buckle down on defense and then get a little offense going, get some runs going, you can get that back with some 2 points and layups too. It's only 1 extra point. If you go inside, you might get to the line, get free throw. It's a 3-point play anyways. Everybody just tries to catch up and as quick as they can.
Well, that's the NBA we're in today.
But
all fast-paced. 3-pointer after 3-pointer.
Yeah. And it's funny because Steve Kerr even said after Game 6 against Houston, he goes, hey, obviously I should have used my bench earlier. I used them at the end of Game 5 in the fourth quarter when KD went down. He goes, and we used them today because we needed them. And I should have always been playing these guys more. Jerebko, Cook, Bell, Livingston. Livingston had 12 points.
Livingston's one of the best bench players.
No. This year he has been...
Okay, but but he's...
Take this in. So he had 12 points last game. He's only had... The last time he had even double digits was one time this season. One time.
This season or
this
post-season?
Season. This season. He only had double digits now twice.
I did not know that.
And this guy shows up. And maybe Steve Kerr found something out for his team. Use the bench more. I didn't see Jerebko play against Houston until that 6th game. I didn't see Bell play. I didn't see Cook play.
Jerebko's good too. He can stretch the floor for a big man.
And when he gets confidence, he wilds out sometimes, but he's got mad confidence. But the main thing that
Who doesn't on Golden State though?
There's 2 things I took away. I want to ask you the one question. Should Portland fans be worried about Damian Lillard?
In what way?
He was ineffective in Game 7. CJ McCollum saved them.
Yep.
Ineffective in Game 1. Should they be worried that something's off and this series is gonna be a wash.
Or maybe just shit's getting harder for you. You know, like it's not gonna be. This is not all these teams ain't OKC. You know.
No. But when you say you match up better against this team against your last, you have to follow that up.
You do.
And he fell off.
But again, it's a 7-game series.
Okay.
Just because you had a
7-game
bad
series.
game one does not mean that's.
Does
the picture
Portland
for the
have a
rest of the
chance
series.
tonight? And what are their odds now of winning this series? I gave them about a 17% chance before the series. What do you think now?
Hey, the supporting cast, they're showing
Answer
up.
the damn
they're
question.
showing up to play. If the Stars,
Are you
just
worried
live
about
up
Damian
to-
Lillard, and do you think they're gonna win tonight? Do they think they have a chance? Do you think
I
they have a
think they'll
chance in the
take. I
series?
think they'll take tonight because I think they can
Okay.
take one game.
So, what do you think their odds are of winning this series? Do you like them at all? Think they have a chance?
I think they
Give
have
me
a
a
chance.
percentage here.
40.
All right, I gave them a 17% chance before the series started.
17.
Before the series started. Now less than 10. Golden State's gonna slap them tonight. This will be done in 5 games. And that's what I predicted before the
You
series
act
started.
like that was like a 30-point slap last game. They were in the game up until maybe the last few minutes.
Dude, I'm telling you, the way this Golden State team plays without Kevin Durant, everybody's more energized. Everybody's more involved. Iguodala had been sick the last 3-4 games. He didn't even do nothing last game. 30 minutes had 4
No.
points. So he chips in for another 12 tonight and starts hitting his 3-pointers. When Iguodala hits his
and if he
3-pointers,
doesn't,
they can't win. Then
and
there's-
if the
then they'll-
opposite happens,
then they'll still pull up win that they did last game. Klay Thompson took
And
the
if we
first
get-
half. Steph Curry took the second half.
what if
and
we
Steph
get
was
what if we
amazing.
get a Steph Curry that we had in the first series?
You won't because
First
Kevin
two.
Durant's not there. Steph, to me,
You-
tell me if you disagree.
What?
You watched that game.
Yeah.
Does Stephen Curry not seem happier, more rejuvenated, more re-energized,
I
and
feel like
more
he-
excited to be playing basketball than
feel-
he did a week ago?
I wouldn't say more rejuvenated. I feel like more motivated almost because he knows now it's on his shoulders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you forget. A lot of people forget. That 73-win team, there was no Kevin Durant. Year before we won the championship, there's no Kevin Durant.
But that 73-1 season lost
Just shut
them
the
in the
fuck
finals.
up for 1
That's
second.
the stupidest thing I've
Oh
heard,
my
bro.
god.
That's the dumbest thing I heard. They lost.
You don't let me
bro.
finish, so how do you know it's stupid? You're honestly so dumb sometimes.
Yeah.
Plug the headphones back in and let me finish my thought.
Keep going.
Alright? He was in line to be the second best player in the league. He was. And everybody thought once LeBron James is gone, he's going to be the face of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Selflessly,
Yep.
he lets KD come, recruits him, takes a step back, lets KD do this. We were deprived by Kevin Durant of the greatness of Steph Curry. We have not been able to watch this guy go off and ball like he used to for the last 3 years. Sure, he lost against the greatest player in the world. I'm not saying he's the greatest player in the world. I'm saying he's second best, and he lost to the greatest of all time. People lost to Jordan. So shut up, why don't you? But we were deprived of watching Steph Curry ball like he can and he should. And now we're getting to see it again, and it's beautiful.
But the thing is, once they did add KD, it turned to a sweep against the greatest of all time.
Well, no shit.
That
Because
was
then you
the
have the number 2
difference.
player and the number 3.
That was
and the
the
number 1
difference.
lost his number 2, Kyrie. What do you mean? Oh, they lost once with Kyrie to them, but
Yeah.
you added the number.
Well,
You had the second best player in the NBA, and then you added the third best player in the
But
NBA.
listen, these are the struggles that when it was just Klay Thompson and Curry, and Draymond and those guys. In the first time they went to the finals against Cleveland, Curry gets injured first game. Kevin Love gets injured first game. They're left with Matthew Dellavedova, Mozgov, and
You just
God
said,
knows if I can even name
you
any
just
of
said
the other
Curry was
players.
injured. So how you using that against them?
Who?
You just said Curry was injured.
Kyrie.
You said Curry.
Oh, my bad. I meant
You
Kyrie.
get me mad confused
Kyrie and
there.
Love were both injured, meaning the two other
Was
stars
that
on
the
that
first
team.
time they played or the second time when
The
Cleveland
first
won?
time, first time. No, not when Cleveland
Okay,
won.
so they
And they went 6. They went
because of
6
the greatest player of
games.
all time, Adis.
One player? Since when was one player able to win you a championship?
That's what he did in 2016. That was the greatest single playoff run in NBA history by LeBron James.
Are we forgetting that Kyrie Irving had 40 points in the exact same games? 40 points in the exact
One
same
game.
games.
1 game out of 7. LeBron was dropping
Every other
40
game he
every
had 30
game.
maybe.
LeBron was dropping.
What are you talking
LeBron
about?
averaged 38, 11, and 12. That series.
The first series they lost. The second series, once they got those players back, they won.
No,
that
what are you
shows
talking about?
you that he
I'm
needed those two guys.
Dude, you're confusing stuff here. 2016, he did not have full squad. Kevin Love was not playing when they won.
Is that the year that they won?
Yeah, you're effing things up here. Your
Okay,
whole
well,
point
Kyrie,
is watch.
Kyrie played.
Okay,
And
he
that's
had
all you
one
needed.
good game.
And that one
You say
series.
Kyrie's the reason why they won.
Huh? No, but I'm
Are
saying
you
that helped them win. Why couldn't he win
How?
it the first time? Why couldn't he win it the first time?
Shit happens.
What do you mean shit happens? That's
It's
not
a
an,
basketball.
That's not an answer.
It's basketball.
went
Did Jordan win every playoff series of his career? Everybody wants to pretend that
Jordan
he did.
play with fucking Matthew Dellavedova and fucking Timothy Mozgov?
Michael, exactly. So LeBron
Exactly.
won with shittier teams. Jordan
you
always
can't
had a
win
good
alone.
team.
You can't win alone, is what I'm telling you here.
LeBron did when Love was injured, and Kyrie was injured too. Then Kyrie came back.
But Kyrie came back and dropped 40 fucking points. You act like he came back and did
Adis.
nothing.
But LeBron did that every game and more. He averaged 38, 11, and 11 the whole series.
Amazing.
And had the best playoff run ever. I don't even know how he got to this point. You're whack.
You're bro. What you said is just.
We're talking about Curry, and then you just don't. Now you're somehow ripping LeBron James. I don't even know.
I'm not ripping LeBron James. I'm just saying you can't do it alone, and that's fact.
LeBron essentially did.
No, we didn't when you had Kyrie on that
Alright.
team. Okay, please.
Okay, so how is
We're
this?
gonna put a
so-
vote on this,
Okay,
bro.
so why?
Please.
Okay, so how do you even link that back to a discussion about Curry? You got so off topic. You didn't even know what your main point was.
I don't. You somehow probably drove me to
No,
that. I don't even know how I got
Rewind it.
there, bro.
You pulled me towards LeBron James. I have no idea why or how. You
What I was saying was,
you talk without thinking.
once they had Durant on that team excelled to being able
Yes,
to
and as
sweep
I
the
said-
guy that they
and
struggled
what
with.
I said was, when you have the second best player in the world and you have the third best player in the world,
Yeah.
you're gonna beat anybody. And then you have the second best shooter of all time, Klay Thompson. What do you want? That's three top 15 players.
Yeah, but no, what you were saying
Plus
right now.
Draymond Green, another All-Star.
What you
But
were saying right
All I'm
now,
trying to get at is I'm enjoying watching Steph ball like the way he used
I am,
to.
but he
and
won't
we've
win it.
missed it. We've missed it.
We have, because again, you had the second best player easily. My laptop died, so.
This guy shows up
Unfortunately.
so he can play clips on the TV.
Bro, I showed
And
up
then
on the
doesn't bring a charger. And the one clip he
do
actually
have
wanted to
a-
show.
I do have a charger, but
You can grab it and pass to me, but the
I'm
one
gonna
clip he
have
actually wanted to show
find the
later.
video again.
But I think it's time to move off of this
It's gonna cool down a little.
this Golden State.
Every time it gets to Golden
Portland.
State, it's the most heated
Oh.
fucking argument.
Just because our opinions are so
You plug that
vastly
in?
differing on Steph. I don't know what you think about this guy, but you don't give him the respect that he deserves. Put some respect on the guy's damn name, man. Put some respect on it. So,
Maybe once KD leaves the team.
yeah, then you will remember how great Steph Curry is.
Maybe
Even
I'm-
though you're watching him right now, I don't understand how you're not visualizing it. But big stuff. Momentum shifting. Seismic changes are going to happen because of it. The NBA draft lottery was bonkers a couple nights ago. Bonkers. All right. So they're going through, and Lakers supposed to have the 12th, 11th pick. They get there, and they're not gone. So, all right, they're in the top 4.
Yeah.
And then you start going up the thing in Chicago, who was bottom 4 odds, tied for 14th. They end up with the 7th spot. Phoenix. I'm used to hockey. Phoenix switched to Arizona,
Yeah.
They fell out of the top 4. And you end up with Lakers at the 4th spot. New York Knicks had the potential of the number 1, but I like what the NBA does. Everybody's got 14% odds now, the bottom 4. They end up with the 3rd pick. Memphis Grizzlies 2nd. And the Pelicans jump up to grab the 1st overall draft pick. This is huge for a lot of reasons. Number 1, not everybody, a lot of people were expecting New York Knicks to take Zion Williamson. Stephen A. Smith thought and lost his shit because he thought they lost opportunity to Zion Williamson. I'm telling you, the way James Dolan operates, the way that New York Knicks organization operates, they undoubtedly would have traded that 1st overall pick for Anthony Davis, and that would attract Kyrie or KD, or both of them come over, and you'd instantly have a super team. Zion was never going to play in a Knicks jersey. But now the Pelicans have both chips in their hands. You got Anthony Davis,
They
and
hold
you got Zion.
all the power at this moment.
All the chips. And now, LeBron James tweets out, number 4, beautiful. Because he's thinking, ooh, we didn't have enough to get AD at the trade deadline.
Nope.
But now we have a 4th overall pick. Well, let me tell you something, buddy. The New York Knicks have the 3rd overall pick.
I was gonna say 4th doesn't really mean much at this
This draft
draft.
is 3 superstars and then everybody else.
I
You
don't
got-
even know who would be picked 4th.
Probably Cam Reddish.
Oh, yeah, okay. I've
You-
heard his name floating around as fourth.
Played
Yeah.
in Duke.
Sure.
You have Zion Williamson, who's going to go 1. Jean Morant, Memphis is probably going to take him number 2 and trade Mike Conley.
Yep.
And RJ Barrett will go number 3 to the Knicks. And then Cam Reddish is a big step off. It's a guy from Vanderbilt as well. I forget his name, might go 4th. But either way, big drop off. So why in the hell would the Pelicans go and trade for the 4th overall pick for a lackluster, he's going to be a blue chip prospect, but not as good. Brandon Ingram, who's got blood clots in his arm. You don't even know what his NBA future is going to hold. Lonzo Ball, who is arguably shouldn't be in the NBA. He's a backup point guard at best. And then you have Kyle Kuzma, one good player you can get out of that. Or, this is what I'm laying down right now. You're going to hear it here first. It's going to happen.
He has a crazy
All right.
theory here, boys. Let's hear it.
The New York Knicks are going to trade this year's 3rd overall pick.
Yep.
And 2 more 1st overall picks probably. At least 1 more.
Mm.
And Tim Hardaway Jr., whatever garbage they can scrape out from under that system. Because the Pelicans don't care what else they get. They care about the 3rd overall pick. And pairing RJ Barrett with his Duke teammate Zion Williamson. And then Zion goes from being his reaction video everybody's laughing at when Pelicans found out. And this guy was like, he just crapped himself. He couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it.
Now he's playing
Once
with...
they said Memphis second, I couldn't
To
believe
now
it.
he's playing with his running mate that he played with all of Duke. They have such a close relationship. They said they lived together at Duke. They spend all their time together, all the same classes, drive everywhere together. One of his best friends going to the Pelicans with him. Selfishly, I want that because I don't want Barrett being stuck in that fire tire Knicks organization unless they get Kyrie and AD and all those guys. But that's what I see playing out, more than AD going to Boston or Lakers. You want me to tell you why he's not
I
going
feel
to
like
Boston?
we all know why he's not going to Lakers. They're not going to give him up to Lakers. They don't. I feel like that's just they don't want that. They don't
Well,
want.
here's the
those two
thing.
together.
David Griffin is the head honcho now. He was not there during those trade talks.
Yeah.
So he might not care. If he feels that that's the best deal he can get, that's what he'll take. So he doesn't have those hard feelings. But it just becomes so much more clear that it's either going to be Lakers or Knicks. Probably Knicks for me because the only way it makes sense for Boston to trade for him is if Kyrie stays. Because then you trade Tatum and Brown and you're fine losing your young players because you have Kyrie and AD. But Kyrie it's almost a done deal. He's leaving. He looks so dejected and unhappy there. So you have to keep your young
Yeah, I
players
feel
there.
like the story is just not where he's gonna go.
Yeah. But if you end up trading Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart for AD and you don't have Kyrie, what do you have left? AD and Al Horford? No, I'd way rather let those young guys run it back when they went to the conference finals without Kyrie, right? So that takes Boston out of the
I feel like
equation.
that's what they want too.
Yeah, that takes Boston out of the equation. Lakers, why don't want your 4th and a bunch of, washed up, dried out prospects,
Trauma queens.
right? When I can get the 3rd pick and make Zion Williamson happy and play him with his best friend and 2 of the top 3 picks and 2 guys who are bound to be studs in the league and let them grow together. And they already have that experience to playing together with one another. And they complement each other so well. Zion's got the hops. RJ Barrett's more of a ball handler, creates his own shot, but can go inside as well. Barrett can play the 2 and the 3, so he's not going to step on Drew Holiday's toes. AD's gone, so the 4 opens up for Zion. It just makes world of a sense to me. The Knicks will be happy. They'll get AD. It's a win-win for everyone. That's what's happening.
Hey, well, only time will tell.
Well, what do you think? I just been going on a tangent for 7 minutes.
About what? What they're gonna do?
The whole draft. Whole draft lottery.
Well, I'm sad that fucking Pelicans got the 1st pick. I don't want them to grab another big man and just do nothing with him again.
Oh, that's the thing. If
I don't want his career to just soil
Zion
in
could very
freaking
well.
New Orleans.
AD's 26, so or 25, I think. He's been in the year, 7 years
Yeah.
in the league. Could you imagine, fast forward 7 years, Zion Williamson is as good as Anthony Davis, which would be huge. And it's the same situation.
Still not going anywhere. Yeah.
Same situation. They
Exactly.
failed to build around him. But things I really like David Griffin. LeBron was really pissed when the Cavs fired him because Dan Gilbert was pissed off at him for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
David Griffin wanted to keep Kyrie. LeBron wanted to keep Kyrie. Dan Gilbert was pissed. Said, no, you're fired. So, David Griffin is smart. Brought in Kevin Love. All those surrounding pieces around LeBron James. He's a good guy. I think he can help Zion. I just pray that they don't squander one of the greatest prospects to come since LeBron James. He's the greatest prospect to come since LeBron James.
Easily. He's one of the only guys I hear is being compared to LeBron James.
Andrew Wiggins was for a bit, which was atrociously compared.
That's a joke.
He was coming out of high
Was
school.
he? I did
Coming out
not
of
hear
high
these
school,
talks. I
And then once he got to Kansas, everybody realized he has no motor, no will to win.
Nope.
Nothing.
He ain't got the same mindset or motivation.
Yeah. Do you think, though, should Anthony Davis reconsider staying? Because they're going to get Zion?
If you don't, I feel like you're a fool. Like, come on. If you might be getting Zion, like, there's nothing in your head that makes, oh, you know what, maybe the teams might be going somewhere now.
But we just said,
But,
he's going into his 8th year.
yeah.
The team's going nowhere. You're adding a guy who's big. He's got to play the 4. If he plays the 3, it's going to be tough for him.
It is.
And he's got no shot.
Yeah.
He's not as bad as Ben
That's one
Simmons.
of the biggest reasons why he can't play the 3.
He's not as bad as Ben Simmons, but he's got to be standing still, catch and shoot. He cannot create his own shot for the life of him. He's a drive inside, fly high guy. So paying him with AD, I don't know. It's going to be like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Just too much clogged in the paint. There's no space for both of them to work in there.
Well, you need some shooters on that team. You can't just have 2 guys always going inside.
And the reports are AD has not changed his mind, which I think
From what I've heard, yeah.
I think that's the right call for him.
I also heard a
get out of there.
report today that they have no interest in doing anything with Lakers too. So I guess New York's the only
I would be very
destination for him.
happy if RJ Barrett ends up with the Pelicans. I know it's closer. I can probably go watch him at MSG if in New York, but that organization is just stupid. I hate him. I hate James Dolan. I can never wish that this team does well under him. Yeah. You're kicking out fans for saying that you should sell the team. You kick out Charles Oakley out of your building when he's one of your greatest players. Get out of here, man.
He's power tripping.
He is. And apparently he said they're trying to recruit Kyrie hard. And he said, I will step out of the way and you can have whatever you want. Well, if it's only Kyrie coming there, you're still going to suck. And apparently the rumors are
that he can't do much.
Apparently the rumors are they're also recruiting Marcus Morris and Terry Rozier. Are you effing kidding me? Do you not pay attention to nothing? Marcus Morris had been saying the whole year this locker room's broken. Yeah. Kyrie been saying, I'm the leader. So obviously those two don't see eye to eye. And Terry Rozier just said on first take,
I know.
if they bring back Kyrie and everybody, I ain't staying. He does not want to play under Kyrie because he thinks he's a starting point guard or needs more minutes.
Which, hey.
And what did he say was the biggest?
Proved himself to be a top guard.
Yeah. And he said the biggest flaw with the Celtics was coaching and management made it seem like Kyrie and Gordon Hayward were untouchable. They play the way they play and we can't do nothing about it. So why would he want to go running back with Kyrie even if it's a different city?
If it didn't work in one place, why would it work somewhere else?
That's how stupid the Knicks are. I really hope RJ Barrett doesn't end up there. If they end up with a bunch of stars, they'll be fine. But they cannot build an organization how every other team would. All right, to close it off.
Yeah, I guess we'll get into some
there
hockey.
Was a joke of a game winner last night in the Western Conference Finals. If you didn't see it, I don't know where you've been. St. Louis and San Jose were in a fantastic game. Overtime.
Do you want the sound on? Do you want them to see the...
Yeah, you can leave the sound, but why don't you restart the video?
Well, you can't really see it from the beginning.
I guess when it shows the replay, so
as to what was committed.
They are talking to the referees about a potential hand pass here. That's what Binnington's talking.
Crazy, all the players saw, but the refs didn't. Come on.
This was atrocious. So the refs actually gave an assist.
I know, yeah.
They gave.
What did they think he hit? What did they think that he assisted with?
Here's the thing: is they gave him the assist on the score sheet, so they had to have known he somehow threw it over. Yeah, what'd you think? He used his stick there?
Yeah, like his stick was in the opposite hand. Like I don't understand.
I mean, Binnington made a bad play on that goal. I don't know. He tried stacking the pads, but left his 5-hole open. I think you can cut the sound now. Yeah. But it's atrocious by the NHL. They've had too many blown calls this playoffs. San Jose has benefited from the two biggest ones. Game 7, that 5-minute major, they come back against Vegas down 3-0. And now they get a Chintz goal in a fantastic game.
They were just gifted a win.
Fantastic game. There was very even strength. I think shots were 32-32 at the end of the game. Or 33-32 after that last one.
Yeah.
But everybody's complaining that should have been reviewable. Do you want to review everything in every sport?
Well, once you don't, stuff like this happens, you know? I feel like that's the issue here.
The NHL board
I understand the opposite argument of, like, don't review everything. But once you don't, stuff like this happens.
Yeah, the NHL Board of Governors meeting this summer is going to be an utter clusterfuck.
Clusterfuck.
I mean, Vegas is going to be like, there's got to be reviews in 5-minute majors.
Easily.
St. Louis is gonna say there's gotta be reviews on any type of goal. Like if there's a goal scored,
Especially if
it's
like
gotta be
game-winning
reviewable,
goal,
right?
Yeah.
Or it's gotta be if it was overtime or something. But what do people say in NFL? You can't start reviewing everything. NBA is atrocious how many things they review and how slow the game gets, especially down the stretch in the fourth quarter. MLB, they're adding reviews again, get slow. You can't have it both ways, people. The reason they couldn't look at that is because a hand pass is non-reviewable. But
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. You got to deal with it. It's on the refs on the ice. If you want to be mad at somebody, blame the fucking refs who actually gave assist to a guy for a hand pass but didn't call him for the hand pass.
But then
You
again,
cannot start reviewing everything in sports.
once you start blaming the refs, people also start getting upset. So you're at odds.
The NHL admitted fault to the refs
Just take
after
it.
the Vegas thing. After Vegas, San Jose, those refs were canned for the rest of the playoffs.
But what if
Just do the
this-
same thing here.
What if this same play happened in like a game 7?
The Stanley Cup final would suck.
Not even a Stanley, like just of this series. You know, like that's a whole different story here.
All right, so then
we're
you
lucky here happened in game 3.
then you're reviewing everything if you want it that way.
Exactly.
I think
One or the
I
other.
think you got to separate the 5-minute major and the goal.
Yeah.
You can't review penalties. Never gonna happen. In game. That's what the disciplinary committee is for. If you want to do a rule like the NFL, where under ref's discretion, like every touchdown is reviewed, especially in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But the booth takes a look at every touchdown in the NFL game. You can do that where upstairs or in Toronto or at the NHL head office where all reviews go, that they review every goal. And you have to streamline it like that. But then what's the use of the coach's challenge? You're going to take the coach's challenge
I
away.
know, yeah.
So the Board of Governors meetings this summer is going to be hilarious. And Gary Bettman's going to have to weed through a lot of this. And they're going to have to figure out some sort of solution.
He's gonna hear a
Because
lot of angry ass fucking people.
This playoff series has been atrocious. And then even people are still point to Charlie McAvoy only getting one game for his hit to Josh Anderson. Direct shoulder to the head. Nazem Kadri gets a full series for a cross-check to the mouth. And this guy fully just rips a guy's head off one game. I know McAvoy's not a repeat offender, but no consistency. Brad Marchand punches Scott Harrington blatantly in the back of the head. Defenseless player. Very dangerous play. It's like boxing. We've talked about it. Most of the knockouts come and the guy doesn't see that uppercut coming.
Exactly.
He doesn't even know. It's the hits you don't see coming. Brad Marchand, not even a fine, not even a suspension. There's no consistency in the NHL right now in discipline and in reffing and calls. And fans are having a field day with it. Twitter blows up. I hate when stuff like this happens because last night, probably 10 minutes straight, I'm scrolling through Twitter, looking for anything besides this.
Everyone's an expert.
And there is nothing. Hit refresh 85 times.
Yeah, and that's the passion for sports.
Hey, we love them. That's why we're here talking to you guys.
Exactly.
And I think that's all for today.
Yep.
We'll be back in a couple days.
You have anyone you want to give Waste Man of the Day to?
You're going to give it to Charles Barkley, I assume?
I got no one to give it to. I want to give it to Charles Barkley for that. I'll let it slide.
No, I mean, if anything,
I want to save Waste Man of the
you know
Day
what?
for like guys who really goofed, you know?
yeah.
So giving it to like Barkley, I just feel like it's...
You know what? I'll say waste
forced.
you, not waste man.
Right, let's see.
Everybody in the Toronto Raptors that wasn't wearing a Kyle Lowry jersey last night. I'm just going to leave it at that.
That was you can give it to Leonard too?
Where were you in the fourth quarter?
Okay.
Crunch time.
Okay.
You could literally not watch all of NBA. Not watch the first 3 quarters, especially in the playoffs, and just watch the fourth quarter. That's all you need to watch. And if you just watched the fourth quarter last night, you would have thought Kawhi Leonard had maybe 10 points. Because that's when the games are decided. And you cannot disagree with that because you've done it before. You just got to watch the last fourth quarter. You just got to watch the fourth quarter.
That's what I used to do.
Exactly. So, to leave it on
Alright.
that note, everybody's my waist suits on the Raptors.
Yep.
And for Adis Kucukovic, I'm Jay Boyle, and we are in the mix. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching.